No, I'm good. I mean, listen. Okay, you're gonna do this on your own, and you're gonna be fine.
Right.
And you're not gonna worry about what anyone thinks and has to say.
Cope and cope and cope until you can't anymore. And I finally hit my brick wall. I couldn't cope anymore. And
I am excited. I usually don't get excited until it's closer. To me, it still seems so far off, but
Do you guys have a date?
we do. I'm not gonna share it, though.
Okay.
Y'all, it looks like Nia Long is fuming after learning that Taraji P. Henson is pregnant with Ime Udoka's baby. Y'all, the same Ime who shattered Nia's heart not too long ago after getting caught with someone they both knew. Now here's where it gets real messy because Nia and Taraji have had a rocky relationship for years. But what Taraji just did is next level betrayal. Sleeping with your friend's ex and getting pregnant when you know he and his ex are trying to rebuild peace for the sake of co-parenting? Yeah, that's crossing the line in every boundary in the girl code book. And y'all, Nia is not here for it. But let's roll this back a little bit because remember when Taraji was engaged to her longtime boyfriend, former NFL player Kelvin Hayden? Well, back then, fans were over the moon for her. She was glowing, smiling all the time and living her best life. But of course, Hollywood hates to see a black, happy woman without throwing a little rumor her way. But out of the nowhere, people started claiming that Taraji was preggo. Some even said that she and Kelvin were expecting their first child together. But Taraji came and shut that down real quick. She spoke out saying, "I am not pregnant. Y'all, please cut it out."
Somebody's got babies on the brain, perhaps?
No.
Oh!
I'm not pregnant, y'all. Please cut it out.
But she later explained that people only assumed she was pregnant because she wasn't drinking at the US Open. And Taraji clapped back saying, "I was drinking a wine spritzer, so yes, there was alcohol. I was just pacing myself."
And I was drinking a wine spritzer, so yes, there was alcohol. I was just pacing myself.
Well, wine spritzers are lightweight, I just want you to know.
She even joked that folks thought her fiance coddling her meant she was preggo. But she laughed it off and said, "That makes me pregnant? He does that to me all the time."
Sir,
How far along are you?
I don't even know. I just couldn't get past it. She kept her fiance kept coddling her and holding her. So that makes me pregnant?
No, they're in love,
He
people.
does that to me all the time. Whatever.
That's
Okay.
why.
And she made something very clear. She and Kelvin weren't planning on having kids together. She said, "No, we're done. He still has his 3 little ones that aren't teenagers yet. We're good."
One. I'm not pregnant yet, but in the future.
No, we're done.
I love that.
He still has 3 little ones that aren't even teenagers yet. We're good.
But at that point, Taraji seemed happy. She said she and Kelvin were good for each other and were planning to get married in a simple, family-focused wedding. But that dream never happened because by 2020, the engagement was called off. Another COVID relationship that bit the dust. Now, at that point, Taraji seemed happy. She said she and Kelvin were good for each other. Now, let's fast forward a little bit because everybody remembers Ime's scandal. Back in 2022, the Boston Celtics suspended him for an entire season after discovering he'd had an affair with a female staff member.
To the NBA, overnight the Boston Celtics officially suspending their head coach Ime Udoka for the entire season after he reportedly had a consensual relationship with a team staff member. TJ is here with more on this. TJ, they say that he violated a code of conduct.
Our insiders say that the investigation found he'd used crude language with the woman before the affair even began. The story exploded because it wasn't just about cheating, it was about workplace misconduct. But what made it sting even more was how it blindsided Nia Long. And get this, the woman Udoka was involved with was actually in charge of arranging his travel. And get this, she also helped arrange Nia's travel too. And that means the same woman who booked Nia's flights and housing was secretly having an affair with her fiance. Talking about we can make some arrangements. Well, Nia had just moved to Boston with her son Kaz when the news broke, and she said that the hardest part was watching her son's face when it all came out. No one from the Celtics organization even called to see if I'm okay or if my children are okay, she said. She pulled her son out of school that same day. Now you can imagine how humiliating that must have been, finding out your partner's scandal through the headlines while your son's classmates are whispering about it. But then fast forward to this year, and Nia and Ime have reportedly reached a peaceful co-parenting arrangement. She said that she and Ime even traveled together with their son recently, saying, "We've had a very public journey that has found its way to peace and understanding." But that sounds like some good old-fashioned mature healing, right? right? But then boom, here comes some new rumors. The talk online is that Taraji and Ime Udoka have been spending time together, and some blogs are claiming that she's preggo. But that's just making the headlines. Isn't just the pregnancy claim, it's Nia Long's alleged reaction to this. According to people close to her, Nia feels like Taraji crossed the line. Remember, these two have some history. Back when Nia guest starred on Empire, word got out that she and Taraji weren't exactly getting along. Word in the streets is that Nia was often late to set, and that frustrated both Taraji and the production crew. Some even said the tension got so bad producers considered shooting their scenes separate. An insider said that their issues came down to ego. They both have been in the industry for so long and both want to be the star. They said, and since Empire was Taraji's show, things naturally leaned in her favor. But apparently by the end of the season, tensions cooled a little bit, but that didn't erase the bad blood. And there was even talk that Nia threatened to sue production after not getting a proper goodbye on her last day of filming. The crew said it was a misunderstanding, but it definitely left some scars. So now you have years of quiet friction, and then a rumor like this surfaces. Of course, it's going to sting. The word in the streets is that Nia still feels deeply about how everything with Udoka played out. She said her son still struggles with what happened, and now hearing that Taraji, someone that she's already had issues with, might be involved with Ime, that's gonna reopen that old wound. And people online aren't helping. The blogs are throwing fuel in the fire, calling it the ultimate plot twist. Sorry, Nia, but some are also saying that Taraji probably feels like she did nothing wrong, because technically Nia and Ime aren't together anymore. So Ime should be fair game, right? But not for Nia, because for her it's about respect and boundaries. But I gotta say, the situation also shines a light on something deeper: the way the industry treats women in these scandals. When Ime got caught cheating, a lot of big name men, including Shaquille O'Neal, came out to defend him. And of course, he would with his cheating ass. But many of them downplay the situation, brushing it off as something common in the sports world, rather than acknowledging how deeply it would have affected Nia. Or as one commentator put it, it's interesting how these professionals are all brothers when they're keeping each other's secrets, but when one of them gets caught, suddenly it's about race and privilege and not the women who got hurt. And that's exactly the environment Nia had to deal with. So when people now suggest her ex might be having a baby with Taraji P. Henson, you can see why she might explode. Meanwhile, Taraji has always been open about how hard her life has been. She raised her son Marcel as a single mother while chasing her acting career. She talked about how exhausting it was to work 12-hour days, come home to a crying baby, and have nobody to help her. She said, "I wouldn't wish being a single parent on my worst enemy." But she's built her whole image around strength and independence, and maybe that's part of why she doesn't feel like she owes anybody an explanation. But if the rumors are true and she really is involved with Ime, especially if she's preggo, it's gonna hit hard for Nia, no matter what Taraji's reasoning is. But that's where things get even messier. But some fans are online calling this Taraji's karma comeback, payback for how Nia allegedly treated her back in Empire days. Others say Nia has every right to be upset because Taraji's actions just reopened her old wounds. But either way, both women are having some strong personalities and loyal fan bases. And the internet said, ding, 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 it's time to eat. I mean, just eating it up. But here's the thing, Nia has said before that nobody can really break anyone up.
Because I don't believe another person can break anyone up.
Right.
Like, I don't buy that, right?
So in her own way, she's staying strong through it all. Still, there's a child in the middle of the story, Nia's son. He already went through a public embarrassment because of his dad's scandal. Imagine him hearing that his dad might have another baby, and with somebody his mom is having beef with? Y'all, that's got to be rough. But let's talk about Ime for a second. Since his suspension, he's been trying to rebuild his image. He's currently coaching the Houston Rockets, and he's trying to stay focused on his career. But these new rumors aren't helping. It's dragging him right back into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And knowing how the media works, they're not going to focus on the basketball. They're going to focus on the drama, the women, the betrayal, and who's preggo storylines. But here's the truth, though. Taraji hasn't spoken out about anything about being pregnant, and Ime hasn't said anything either. But the whispers have already done their damage, so you can feel how sensitive this is. Because for Nia, it's not just another tabloid story, it's her real life, her family, her child's father, and a woman that she's had a rocky relationship with. Nia said, the most important gift you can give your kids is to heal your trauma. So maybe that's what she's trying to do now, protect her peace even while the world keeps talking. So here's my honest take though, y'all. The whole thing is sad more than anything. Two talented black women who have fought their way to the top and now being pitted against each other because of some cheating man. It's the kind of Hollywood story that always ends up hurting the women the most. And if Taraji really is expecting Ime's baby, we'll know soon enough. But even if she's not, the rumor alone has reopened the scars. And once things like this get out, it's hard to put it back in the box. But y'all drop your thoughts and comments below, and I'll check y'all in the next video.